Well, I just finished a long drive through the mountains. Should have made a video. I did make a video about hooking up Starlink for the first time. I might put that on here too, but I wish I'd made a video while I was up there. It was so inspiring, listening to music, driving through the mountains, stopping in the little towns. Um, but it made me think that it would be a good time to make a point before I forgot it. And that's about practicing any kind of skill and how you will evolve and get better at it. And a lot of these things, um, we develop them throughout our lives. You should never be scared to start something, but we do have certain skills that we tend to have at a young age, or things that we're exposed to at a young age, and we may not even really remember them as we get older and how those skills develop. But it's well known that in arts and sports and everything else, there's a lot of factors that um, are part of the wiring of the brain, if we want to use that term, that we get when we're really, really young. And you had a lot of artistic skills when you were young, and you still do. But just like painting and music and other things, you'd be surprised at how fast you can get better and better at those things, especially if you have some innate abilities that you might not even know you have. And you played a lot of music when you were a little toddler. Every single day we read, and you played music, and you wrote songs too. You were actually more than just a couple of words. You actually would make up some fairly detailed songs for a little person. And I would encourage you, to act on all of your skills and don't let them sit, and because they will develop. If you start writing a little bit of poetry every day, or writing a story every day, or writing a song, you don't have to do it every day, just on a regular basis in your diary or in your journal, and thinking about it, you may find artists see this too. If you look at the progression of artists, like painters, that you can look at like some great painters, and their first works were just okay, or not even really that good, and then they just kept doing it, and they get better and better and better. And every skill pretty much is like this in life. We amaze ourselves at how much we can develop a skill, and it just comes along. And it's even really basic things that you can see this in, things that really don't seem to have a whole lot of value, but they're even obvious. And like, maybe you make baking cookies, for example. If you bake cookies like on a regular basis, for example, you will just get better at making the cookies. You won't really understand why. It's just you do. That's just how the brain works. It just gets better. But these art skills, don't ever get discouraged because maybe something you do you don't like the first time, and maybe you don't think you're good at it. Um, you have ability, and if you have any kind of motivation inside of you, an impetus, something, a calling, and it feels like I need, go ahead and start working on it. Just do it by yourself. You don't have to share it with everybody, until you feel comfortable sharing it, and you will be amazed that you will just get better. You'll get better at writing poetry. You'll get better at writing music. You'll get better at painting. You'll get better at drawing. You'll get better at skateboarding, riding your bicycle, surfing, whatever it is. And a lot of it happens quite quickly, and then to really perfect it, to really hone it out, that's where things start to separate, from the things that you want to spend most of your time doing to the things that are hobbies. But it's that fine details that then start to take longer and longer periods of time to figure out. But that initial really improvement process is quite quick, and so don't ever be scared to get started on something just because if you just don't, because you have some self-doubt or something like that. So I just wanted to share that. And part of the reason I think that hit me is because this morning when I woke up, I was just singing in The Sound of Silence in my head. It's a famous song by Paul Simon and Simon and Garfunkel. I think Paul Simon wrote it, but Simon and Garfunkel made it famous. They recorded it together, and then other people have covered that song. But I remember I've heard the story of Paul Simon tell the story of how he created the song, what inspired him. And it's a very inspiring type of song, and I didn't have it on my playlist. I couldn't believe it, so I put it on my playlist this morning. I was listening to it, and I kind of thought about it's a song of poetry, you know, like many really good songs are poetry. They're songs as poetry, and I guess you could argue most songs with lyrics are poetry, but there's sort of a difference, you know. And The Sound of Silence, I think, definitely falls into the realm of poetry, you know. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to speak with you again. You know, and it just really touches the soul. So I just feel like I know you're an artist. You come from some artist background, and you've always had art in you. So don't, you know, just realize you develop it like anything else. So don't let it sit. Practice, and then get the enjoyment out of it. You know, enjoy it, appreciate it. Art it's inspired by feeling a sense of enjoyment and deepness and introspection and all of that kind of thing. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your summer vacations. School gets out very soon. I love you.